So before we move on to adoption, does anyone have any questions about security, about the security component? If not, that's
If you do, feel free to toss those in. I'll go ahead and interrupt Mark as many times as I have to.
yeah, definitely. So the adoption is probably the more fun part, I think. It's less fire and brimstone because the reality is everyone's already using it in some way. So let's talk about how to capitalize on that and make it work for my business, right? That's what you're thinking at this point. So get everyone secure. You're using AI in an environment where it blocks everything from going to a training model. Well, what do we do now? It's turned on for everybody. What do we do? ChatGPT doesn't have a training how-to guide. I mean, they have Q&A, they have things, but like, what do you do with it? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I also just want to point out, I'm from Hatz, right? We've partnered with Xpert Technologies. The things that you can take away from this conversation today are, for the most part, platform agnostic, depending on whether or not you're using Hatz, whichever tool you're using, you can take these concepts and apply them to OpenAI. You can apply them to Copilot. You can apply them to pretty much anything, as long as it's a secure platform. So we think about AI adoption in 3 steps. We have crawl, walk, run. This is really important because we've had, at this point, thousands of conversations with companies who want to start with run. They saw something really cool that someone was doing and they were able to, replace their entire sales team or replace their entire operations team. We're not trying to do that, right? That's completely antithetical to what we're trying to do. And also, if you start with those huge disruptive use cases in that run category, there are crucial bits of education and learning that you're going to miss from crawl and walk that will actually help you implement long-lasting changes and actual efficiencies over time. So we start with crawl, which are use cases that have immediate time to value. You're going to meet your team where they are. Oh, what are you doing 10 times a day? And it takes you, 15 minutes each time. Let's figure out if AI can get that time down so that you can spend that time somewhere more strategic. Crawl is when you start to roll out more bespoke use cases, things that are a little bit harder to implement. They might take a bit more prompting. They might take a bit more time to set up, but they're going to be repeatable in different departments, but maybe not every single department. And then run is where you're creating new use cases. So keep this framework in mind as we have the rest of this conversation, where if you have an idea for something, think about, is that a crawl? Is that walk? Or is that run? How often am I going to be doing this? And how much time would it probably take to implement? And another way to look at this is with this little sort of matrix here, right? You want to think about use cases. How am I using AI on a daily basis? You can think about crawl, walk, run as up and to the right on this chart, where you're completely avoiding things that would provide low value to you and to your organization, but would be high effort. You're going to spend 3 hours setting something up and it's going to save you 2 minutes. That's something that you want to avoid. Or it's high effort. It takes a lot of work and a lot of people to implement, but it's really only going to help you once a quarter. That maybe is something that a human should still be doing. So if we start with crawl, low value, low effort. Nothing wrong with that. That's probably 80% of your use cases. Low value meaning it's going to save you 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes here and there. And low effort meaning you can do it today with literally zero training, zero education, zero AI experience. Walk, you're getting into high value, still low effort. And then run takes a bit more effort, but it's the highest value. So that's another way to look at this, this crawl, walk, run framework.